There's been a lot of UFO news over the past couple of days, so we're going to break it all down today, starting off with Skyfire News. So Skyfire News has been hot on the heels of reporting the UAP topics, especially around pop culture. So this clip comes from Dr. Gary Nolan, who obviously has been very public recently, actually, with a lot of his findings. And he says that aliens are actually biological robots meant to look like us. Interesting. Let's take a little listen to what he has to say.
I think that part of what we're seeing here, I mean, look, if you're an intelligence, are you going to go down on a planet with a bunch of angry monkeys who might kill you? No, unlikely. You'll send some intermediary. Well, what kind of intermediary are you going to send? You're going to send something that maybe almost looks like them, but isn't them. So I think, and this is, again, from inside the intelligence community, most of what we think we're seeing are avatars, biological robots that are basically put there to be the minions, if you will.
And that's the current view of the intel community.
It is a hypothesis.
Now, this, again, is a hypothesis that has actually come out from a Harvard professor. And the idea is that, I'm going to talk about it in a bit more depth in another video, but the idea is that aliens literally just walk among us. And there could be, like, studies to support that thesis, and to support the fact that that might actually be the case and not as outlandish as it sounds. Which is just mind-boggling to me, but what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on that down in the comments. We're going to move on to something else, which is Donald Trump. Now, of course, Donald Trump recently appeared on the Logan Paul podcast Impulsive. I think he went on there probably to try and secure the votes of maybe the younger generation. I don't know. I mean, I saw a very different side to Donald Trump. I mean, I don't really get too mixed up with American politics, but, you know, I saw a different side to him. And when it comes to him or Joe Biden, who do you go for? I don't know. I'm not American. But he did appear on the Logan Paul podcast, and he was asked about, is there a chance that one of these orgs is hiding information from you about aliens? And Donald Trump tells Logan Paul that it's impossible. It is possible, sorry, for Deep State to hide that Deep State hid alien information from him. Let's take a little listen to this.
Is there a chance that one of these orgs is potentially hiding information from you about aliens?
I guess so. It's you have the deep state, and you do have a deep state, and certainly they could. But I don't think on this subject. I was interested in it because I've been asked so many times, and I talked to people that have said that they've, you know, it was a sighting, and it's very believable. It's very possible that there is something, and why wouldn't there be? You know, you take a look at the universe and you see all of the different planets, and you see this. You know, look, here we are on one relatively small planet. Why wouldn't there be on a planet that's, you know, 400 times the size? Why wouldn't there be somebody? Yeah. You know, it's certainly believable to me.
Is there?
Which, again, is mind-boggling because, obviously, Donald Trump spoke earlier this year about the Roswell incident when he was asked about it, and he's basically said that it could be something that he declassifies if he gets back into power. The Roswell incident, of course, is probably one of the most infamous UFO crash retrieval subjects, where, you know, there was a crash outside Roswell, and the craft was retrieved, and it's believed that it has been reverse engineered. Of course, if you ask AARO, the Aerospace All Domain Resolution Office, they have no idea what you're talking about. They're just like, what? Aliens? No! Aliens don't exist! I mean, they, like, you know, they might not, you know, but you're lying, basically. And he said, obviously, if he gets back into power, it would be something that he would look into. Of course, this is the time where politicians say a lot of things. They say a lot of things to appease the masses so that they can get the votes, and then never actually follow up on it. So, you know, be skeptical with what you believe. But the next post that we're going to talk about is Russell Crowe. Of course, Russell Crowe is an actor. He's a very good actor. He was in Are You Not Entertained? What was that movie? Gladiator. fantastic movie. He was also in The Pope's Exorcist more recently, where he had some paranormal experiences whilst filming that movie. It was a fantastic movie if you haven't watched it. But he said, I'm reading a lot of stuff and it says full contact in 2027. Russell Crowe thinks aliens will be revealed to humanity in 2027. What's he been reading? Let's take a little look at what Mr. Crowe has to say.
Well, currently, I'm reading a lot of stuff that says, full contact in 2027. And there's all these people that used to work for NASA or all these other organizations out there talking about how our history as a species is really simply a series of genetic experiments to get us to where we are now. When you look around, there's a lot of proof that says that might actually be a thing. Anyway, that's...
What have you been reading, Crow? Like, you can't say that stuff, right? Just dangle that carrot and be like, oh, this is a possibility, 2027, and then just be like, anyway, no, we need details, Mr. Crow. And if you see this, you won't see this, but if you see this, on the off chance, you're really bored on YouTube and stumbled across this, please tell us, please. For the love of God, I want to know what in the Fatucky's going on in this UFO world, because, that's all we want. We just want to know where the aliens are. Where they at, though? But, again, crazy stuff. But, another thing from Skyfire News, I'm just literally working my way through the timeline right now. It says, Harvard study says that aliens live among us removed from the research gate. So that's what I was talking to you about earlier, but we're going to talk about that another time when I've got a bit more time to kind of specify over those details. Now, there are other points from the Logan Paul podcast with Donald Trump that we're going to skim over. So this one talks about who would win in a fight between Logan Paul and aliens.
The thought of it freaks me out. It's weird to think that we potentially are only the source of life in like an infinite, ever expanding universe. But technology.
But they'd never be able to take you in a fight.
No chance.
I'll bet on you.
No chance. Send me in.
I'll bet on you.
Send me in. Send me in, my brother. We'll handle it.
That's a good team.
And if we don't come back, I'm sure people will be happy about that too.
The two of you will come back and say hello. Say hello to him, by the way.
I will.
He's a great guy.
The thought.
There you go. And then also there is another clip here that says Donald Trump tells Logan Paul about meeting with pilots that had UFO encounters. This is a very interesting clip.
UFOs, UAPs,
I know.
The disclosure we've seen in Congress recently. It's confusing and upsetting a lot of Americans because there's something happening. There are unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky. We don't know what they are. Do you?
So
Wow.
It's such a question I do get a lot, and it's such an interesting question. I've met with pilots that look just like you, actually. Okay, they have more of a crew cut. Okay, they look like him and they look like you. Some of them look like you,
A little fatter.
but these are perfect people.
Okay.
And they're not
crazy.
conspiratorial. They're not crazy.
Yeah.
And they tell me stories that they've seen things that you wouldn't believe. These are not people that you would say, gee,
no way.
oh, that's
No
okay.
way. President of the United States.
But
I said. Was your
Who is
phone
it? That's
silent?
Joe Biden wanting to do an interview. So I've met with pilots, like beautiful Tom Cruise, but taller.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Handsome, perfect people. Sir, there was something there that was round in form and going like 4 times faster than my super jet fighter plane. And I look at these guys, and they really mean it.
Yeah.
And am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
This is coming from a man whose job is to speak to these people, to oversee these people. Like, this is just crazy. I mean, Donald Trump says a lot of crazy things, right? But listening to him more and more, he seems wacky, inflatable, like he seems flamboyant as a character. But there is a level-headed side to him, in which I've never really kind of paid much attention to until recently, and it's very interesting to see. But what do you guys think on all this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, just get the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, tick my little button again, and find a new. Peace. Can't speak.